Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my client Michelle's vlog. And we started the week off with bench press against chains. She did, I believe this was 140 plus 38 chains. I think that's what it is. Obviously a little difficult to lock out, but that's okay. Again, chain work. And keeping in mind that this is more than 10% of her max in chains. So it's going to be a little harder near the lockout. All right, for accessory work for her, we do floor pressing. Big on the floor press. I'm a big fan of the floor press. I love using it as a supplemental lift for my lifters. I've had a lot of luck with it with a lot of my strongest benchers. So we obviously have her do it when her weak links tend to be kind of off the chest, right? Pretty close to being off the chest. Not immediately at the chest, but just kind of the mid-range. So in that case, the extra pectoral work that we get and the start position from the floor press tends to make it a very, very good exercise for that. Now, I continue to train her triceps. We continue to do the JM press, even though her triceps are probably her strongest muscle in her upper body. We're still doing tricep work. We're doing JM presses, and as you guys can see, she uses a lot of weight on this lift. Again, particularly for a woman, right? Because I've got men who've been working out a year who struggle to use the same weight that she does, if they can even do it at all. So I'm always happy with her tricep strength. So we continue to do some tricep work just because she needs it, even though things like pecs and delts really are a higher priority at the moment. Now that we've gone over to a wider grip benching, I don't want to neglect those. So to change things up a little bit, I'm adjusting her back work so that we get some different variations in. So I decided to do barbell rows. And a lot of people call this a Pendlay row, but this is actually just called a barbell row. Glenn Pendlay will tell you the same thing. It was called a barbell row for decades before he was born. So it's just a barbell row. People say, well, what's the one where it doesn't touch the floor? It's called a bent over row, right? All right, so after that, we do chin-ups. So again, we're getting, in her case, we're getting both a vertical pull and a horizontal pull so that we're getting, again, all the angles possible here. So we do have a lot of different angles that we do for her, and it's because she can handle the volume right now. So again, if I had a lifter who couldn't quite handle some of these volumes, we wouldn't do as much stuff. Because when we look at this, not even counting the little bit of band tricep work I have her do, we end up with about 6 supplemental lifts for the upper body. 2 types of presses, 2 types of pulls, and then 2 types of smaller shoulder exercises. So she does front raises, and then we do dumbbell lateral raises. So again, working all the parts of the shoulder girdle, and this is particularly since she can't incline bench, her shoulders don't allow her to do so. This is what we do. Right? We do this in place of it. And that works fine for someone who doesn't need the extra tricep work because her triceps are strong and we have the JM presses in there. So it works fine in her case. But I tend to like the incline bench for a lot of people with some of the weak links we see for her. But again, because she can't do it, the front raises will get it done. They're probably overall better for stimulus fatigue, and it lets me throw a lot of volume at her. Eventually, we may get her to the point to where she can do incline benching. Right? She might get to that point eventually. But in the meantime, we continue to just do the smaller shoulder exercise for that. So for max effort lower day, we did a chain squat. Now I felt like she could have gone a little heavier on this one. She ended up matching her last PR, which is 230 plus 38 chains. But when I watch it move, I'm like, you should have gone for the 235. I think she would have got it. Just my opinion as a coach. All right, afterwards for supplemental work, we do safety bar good mornings. And I've had these in here for a little while for her. And again, unless barbells change, I'm probably going to stick with these for a little while. Okay, probably going to stick with them for a little while. Although, we could make the case for her benefiting from some other bars because her upper back is really not a weak link. So eventually I may have her work in some of these with a straight bar. just because, again, it shifts the moment arm a little further down, lets you use a little more weight. And, we could argue potentially more posterior chain. But we always know the SSB works more upper back. All right, for her leg work, as far as quads and adductors go, we're doing leg presses, and I'm having her do these single leg. I would rather do that right now. Again, better in terms of making sure that we get equal strength and development on both legs, and at least this helps ensure it a little bit. When we go with a wider stance movement, it's a lot easier to do that, but the problem we have is that the leg press she has doesn't allow for that, right? It's a very, very narrow slide, and they don't have a belt squat at her gym. So we make use of this when I don't want her doing other single leg exercises, goblet squats. And I feel like we kind of tapped out the goblet squats for her. Right? I feel like I've done everything with them that we can, given the dumbbells that she has available. So I'm rotating them out for a bit to replace it with that. Our other option would be to do split squats, right? Our other option would be split squats. All right, up next, we do glute ham raises. She's now at a point where on this device, she does them weighted. So again, hamstring strength is coming up. Glute strength is coming up. Actually, we're getting to a point where these things are becoming much, much, much stronger than they were when we started. And I think this is apparent when we look at the fact that her deadlift has been going up. She's been hitting deadlift PRs on her different deadlift variations. A lot of this stuff is to blame. Okay. The improved strength on the glute ham raises, the improved strength on these reverse hypers. And I will always be a fan of the reverse hyper. You guys know I love this lift. I have purchased 2 of them for my own use since having been on YouTube. I had a cheaper, smaller one that I ended up giving away as a gift when I put a lot of wear on it and wanted to upgrade. So I gave it away, and I've upgraded to, the heaviest one that Rogue makes right now. So again, I'm a big fan. I put my money where my mouth is on this. And I have my clients use them if they have access. And we try to push it hard. All right, she's progressing hard on it right now. All right. Then we finish the week up with dynamic effort days. So speed bench with chains. We do 3 sets wide, 3 sets medium, 3 sets closed grip. Again, changing it up from where she used to only do closed grip. And again, a bit more difficult with chains. You guys see the chains kind of swing a little bit. They have their own learning curve to those on speed benching. Right, they have their own learning curve. Plus, I'm making her go heavier on dynamic effort work. We're bringing up the intensity of it quite a bit. And then we do the same supplemental lifts right now that she does on her max effort day. So then we'll go over to dynamic effort lower, which, as you guys can see, we do speed squats. So at the moment, we're still doing chains. This is a chain wave. I'm going to take her over to bands in the near future. And we do speed conventional deadlifts, right? Speed conventional deadlifts against chains. And I've had to take sumo out because there's an issue at the back of her knee, and I believe it has to do with the bone spur, if I recall, to where the sumos seem to really aggravate that area. So in her case, I don't make her do any sumo pulling. A lot of my other lifters do. We do a lot of sumo work for them. In her case, we don't. And it's just as well because she is a taller lifter. Sumo isn't always going to be the best option for her, right? Not always the best option. Again, she's extremely tall. And a lot of people are not aware of that until they see her next to other people here. She's 5'9", very tall for a woman. So when we start looking at the levers involved, sumo may not even be the best choice for her. Right? Conventional is probably almost always going to be stronger with her particular levers. And then, of course, we do the same supplemental work that we do on the other day. Again, she does her single leg presses. We do good mornings. We do glute ham raises. We do reverse hyperextensions. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.